Yeah, that's what fills me. Time to plant our gardens, get ready for another year. Take advantage of this weather while the sky's still blue and clear. Corn and beans, squash and kale like to grow together. Save our seeds and keep them dry, and we'll be eating right forever. Give me a simple life in the country where I can be free. Give me a fresh spring and a garden, that's all that I need. I need an earth home on this planet to live out my days. My heart, it really loves those simple ways. Nice stretch in the morning, rise and say hi to the sun. You know we got a lot of work to do, and there's enough for everyone. Rain's gonna be coming soon, we got a lot of wood to move. Gotta keep this family dry if it's the only thing we do. Give me a simple life in the country where I can be free. Give me a fresh spring and a garden, that's all that I need. I need an earth home on this planet to live out my days. My heart, it really loves those simple ways. Real food from the garden every day, jarring up what we don't eat and putting it away. Life in our own village, and listen to the children play, swimming in the river at the end of the day. It's time to say hello.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity Church in Reading. Can we stand up for our opening song, please? Oh, yeah, and if you have shakers.
We are all friends here. There are no strangers once you walk inside that door. We welcome you to linger in this family of love and hold you in our hearts the way you are. We are all friends here. There are no strangers once you walk inside that door. We welcome you to linger in this family of love and hold you in our hearts the way you are. We are all friends here. There are no strangers once you walk inside that door. We welcome you to linger in this family of love and hold you in our hearts the way you are. And hold you in our hearts the way you are. And hold you in our hearts the way you are. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you.
Good morning. Must be backwards today.
Laura, I think it's time for us to sing. Oh, Ken's doing something.
I was so worried about everybody else.
That comes afterwards today. No, I only know because Ken drilled that into me.
I did get the memo. If you'd like to sing along with us, you're definitely welcome to. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And leave us not in temptation, but deliver us from error.
For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever.
Wonderful. That was wonderful. And why don't we continue by asking Laura to light our Christ candle. And as Laura lights our Christ candle, let us bless it together. We light this candle, remind us that the light of Christ lives in each one of us. I am the light of Christ. And we are blessed as we move into our joy song, Holy, Holy Way.
Okay.
Now you wonder how she stays so thin. We just keep her bouncing around.
I must need to do more singing, Ken. So this is a song that I'm sure you've heard before, and if you have little shakers and stuff, this is a great song for that. Yeah, let's stand up and dance around the world. Clap.
Oh, let me
Love in a holy, holy way.
let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me know that love is all around. Let me know that love is all around. Oh, let me know that love is all around.
Let me know
let me love your holy, holy name.
And now for Daily Word Owl.
Go Al.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And a special welcome to those of you joining us from afar. But we know you are with us in spirit, and we're glad to have you here, and I hope you will join with us in the Daily Word. Today is a fun one that we all should appreciate, and even in these challenging times throughout the world, there still is a special joy for each of us if we just look for it. So today's word is joy, and the affirmation is, I carry joy in my heart. Please join with me. I carry joy in my heart. My many happy experiences and memories may lead me to feel joyful, but I know they are not the source of my joy. One of my divine gifts, joy, is part of my spiritual identity, as close to me as my next breath. Joy wells up and spills over within me when I bring my awareness to my spiritual nature and to my oneness with all good and all life. It is an attitude I hold in my mind and a feeling in my heart. The happiness I feel in life depends on my allowing my inner wellspring of joy to come forth. It's an important one. I'm going to read that one again for all of us. The happiness I feel in my life depends on my allowing my inner wellspring of joy to come forth. I nurture my joy by maintaining a regular prayer practice that enhances my awareness of God and by making time for the things that make me happiest. I go into the world grateful for the joy that resides within me, my gift to share generously. These special words were inspired by Isaiah 55th chapter, the 12th verse. For you shall go out in joy and be fed back in peace.
And as we sit here with open hearts ready to receive, we do so with joy. The joy that is bubbling up within us as an inherent birthright. That regardless of what is happening in our outer world, There are times that we can make the choice to turn within and find that point of joy and open to it. Let it infuse us. And the joy of being on this human path, this path with all the joys, all the challenges that human life brings, is such a gift. A gift to be in this beautiful physical world, knowing that we are human beings walking this path, but that our essence is spiritual, that we are spiritual beings. And as we will learn later this morning about some of the temptations that we as human beings have, we can know that temptation is desire. Desire that comes from the great unmanifest. And that it is up to us to choose which of those temptations and desires we want to fulfill and which we want to just let go. We know that we have many, many opportunities to choose what is ours to accept, what is ours to give, what is ours to live with. So as we move into our quiet space of silence this morning, let us just sit with our joy, with our love, with our faith, and with our desire, knowing that desire is God knocking at the door of our hearts. And now let us gently bring ourselves back to this space, this here and now, becoming aware of our bodies sitting on the chair, feeling the energy that permeates this room, and being more conscious of the breath that we are breathing, that breath of God. And as we have been in meditation and prayer, perhaps we have been aware of those in our sphere and beyond that we would like to offer prayers for this morning. So if you will join me, please, and say aloud any names, places, or situations that you would like held in prayer today, together. And just as we've spoken those names and places and situations aloud this morning, we can know that they will be held in prayer all day. And as other names begin to bubble up in our hearts throughout the day, we can offer a quiet prayer. Just as we have spoken names, people have placed names and situations in our prayer box. So we hold all of those names who have been put in great faith, knowing that prayer works, in the prayer box. We say thank you. And knowing that prayer always begins with us, let us ground ourselves by saying our own names aloud together. Carolyn. With great love and gratitude for the opportunity to sit in silence, to pray for others, to know that all is in divine order and the right outworking is always transpiring. For this I say thank you, God, and so it is. Amen. And now, Laura.
And Anton, yes.
I think that's the first time
okay.
that's ever happened. Usually it's, and now, Anton.
Sometimes when you're not sure as a musician where the message is going, the easiest thing to do is pick a song in a language that nobody speaks. So we've done that today.
Well, actually, I think this does address the point of the talk. It's just in another language, but it's fun too. And if you have your shakers, you're welcome to shake along with this.
This is a song made popular by Mahatma Gandhi. The relevant verse, boy, I'm at the bottom of that well, but we're just going to go with that. Sita Ram, the masculine and feminine aspect of divinity. Patita Pavana, Sita Ram. You purify those that have fallen as far as they can fall. It's kind of the 12-step chanting song. Here we go. Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram, Patita Pavana Sita Ram. Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram, Patita Pavana Sita Ram. Ishvariyala Tere Nam, Sabako Samati De Bhagavan. Ishvariyala Sabako Samati De Bhagavan. Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram, Patita Pavana Sita Ram. Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram, Patita Pavana Sita Ram. Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Patita Pavana Sita Ram. Sitaram, Sitaram, Patita Pavana Sitaram. Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram, Patita Pavana Sita Ram. Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram, Patita Pavana Sita Ram. Sita Ram, Sita 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 Ram, Patita Pavana Sita Ram.
Take it away, Ken.
Hey, Ken. Oh, what a wonderful day, May Day, the official shorts day of Reading. You know, there are certain days that you change from long pants to shorts, and this is the day. You know, some of the people ask me, how do we come up with the message that we give on Sunday? And I have been blessed to be with Carolyn these last 5 to 7 years, that she has drawn up the topics every Sunday for the last 7 years. And she gives me what I'm going to be talking on. And it's normally, you know, very on point, very thought. But this Sunday, a couple weeks ago, she said, Ken, starting in May, you have the first Sunday. What is your topic? And you've seen that proverbial deer in the headlights, you know, that, oh, now what am I going to do? Well, needless to say, I came up with a topic. And then somebody asked me during the week, have you ever known anyone who has had that lifting up, that, how did you word it? The vision? Knowing that you were in divine order. That something happens in your life and you just know it's meant to be. Well, that happened on Wednesday when I was reading the Course of Love. And in the Course of Love reading, it had exactly the same wording of our talk today. Exactly the same wording. And I hadn't read it before. But it was meant to me as a confirmation that that was the topic for today. And then thinking about what is our temptations of the human experience. What are those temptations? What do we do? Well, if we're going to understand temptations, we have to go to our ego. And we often think of our ego as some nefarious, sinister part of us that is always causing us trouble. That's really not true. The ego was given to us to help guide us, to keep us safe, to keep us alive. So the ego itself is something that is always within us. It's always there. It's always working with us. But sometimes when these temptations come about and they're generated as part of our ego, that they cause us pain. And sometimes it causes pain for those that we inflict our temptations upon. Our ego. Now, when you start talking about what are these temptations that our ego finds itself within, and we can go back to as far back as there is written words, and they have talked about what these temptations are. It's actually came about pre-Christian era. Well, if I want to know what they are, there are far smarter people than myself have written them down for us. And they seem consistent in all languages. They've even become the basis in the 4th century for Catholic confessions. This was the beginning to look at these temptations for the Catholics. Well, what are they? And I'm sure when I start, you're going to know each and every one of them. My favorite, lust. Well, lust is just that. It's the desire for something so overriding within us that everything else takes a back seat. And it could be pleasures of the flesh, but it could also be pleasures of power or money or the desire to be the leader. Also gluttony. Now gluttony, a lot of people think it comes with a large tummy. But no, Gluttony is far more than that. It is having so much that we waste it. And we've been given so much, and to waste it. The third one is greed. Well, we all know, we've seen people with greed. I mean, how is it that 2% of the population has 90% of all the money? I've always wondered about that. Is that greed? Or is that being at the right place at the right time? Greed, by definition, is that desire to have that is so overriding that we're willing to give up other things to have it. One that I suffer from is sloth. Now, you think of the animal, the sloth, and that's really not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is when you don't act. A lot of times it is when good people do not stand up and do the right thing. Sloth is being lazy, not taking on what we've been given to do. Telling Spirit, oh, not me, I'll catch you next week. I'll catch up. The next one is wrath. Now, wrath we know is anger, losing our temper, losing the ability to get along, thinking that we're always right, and making it so important in our lives. One time, my son-in-law, this happens to be son-in-law number one, he was probably one of the smartest people I ever knew. And he was telling me a story that he was in the Florida Keys, and he was on a boat. He was a captain, used to take them from New Zealand or Formosa, wherever they were built, or wherever they were offloaded if they made it to the United States, and he'd sail them through the canal to Florida. And he was in the bay there in Florida, and my daughter had gone down to visit him, and she was at a dinner, and there was a person there who was very verbose, talking about everything they could do. You ever know one of those? And while my daughter and my son-in-law took a break, he said, this guy doesn't have a clue of what he's talking about. And my daughter said, well, why don't you tell him? And he said, what's the benefit in that? He is really happy telling his stories. He didn't need to correct him. The next one is envy. Most people know Carolyn's husband, Jim. And we have similar desires. We like the same kind of cars. Most of the cars he's had, I've also had. And last year, he bought himself a brand new Corvette. Red. Now, I have to admit, when we're talking about envy, I felt it. When I got in and slipped inside the seat and you kind of put it on like a nice pair of clothes. Yeah. I knew exactly what envy was. But I knew it was his, and I was happy that he had it. And when he got rid of it this last week, it was like, okay. It had lived a purpose in his life and in mine. It was a reminder. The last one is one that a lot of people suffer from, and it's pride. Where what we think we know and what we say and what we do is more important than anything that other people say and do. But it's more than that. It is holding ourselves out to be more than, better than. Now we know that these are the temptations that have been written about for time immemorial. They haven't changed. They have been with us forever. And we know that we suffer from all of them at different levels and amounts because they're part of us. From the Contemporary English Version Bible, James chapter 1. Now, for those of you who don't know who this James is, he's one of 3 James in the Bible. And this James is Jesus' brother. Now, he was not a disciple. They say he wasn't even converted to Christianity until after Jesus' resurrection. But he became very powerful in Jerusalem and in the early day church. And this book, they say, may have been the first book written that is in the Bible. A lot of people say it's Mark, but it may be James. And here's what James said. Don't blame God when you are tempted. We are tempted by our own desires that drag us off and trap us. Our desires make us sin. And when sin is finished with us, it leaves us empty. Now we know that sin is just missing the mark, not doing what we should be doing, not doing what God would have us do. And the other word that I find fascinating in this reading is not if we're tempted, it's when we're tempted. Because each and every one of us will be tempted. Guarantee it. Part of life. It's how we deal with it. It's how we deal with that temptation that we've been given in life. Our consciousness. Now we know that when we're tempted and we give into it, we become trapped. And the one thing that we look at is that mediating force within us. Consciousness. We've often heard it called, well, you have a conscience. What is it telling you to do? Well, when we lift up our consciousness, we tie into that mind of the heart, the link to the indwelling spirit. And we can lift ourselves up and deal with our human temptations. We can lift ourselves up and choose again. Make a better choice for ourselves. We are lifted up. James goes on in the chapter 1 to say, don't be fooled, my dear friends. Every good and perfect gift comes down from the Father who created all the lights in the heavens. James was telling us that it is not through these temptations that we will find our gifts. It is through looking to Spirit. And let me go back to our Unity's first principle. There is only one power and one presence, active in the universe and in my life, God the good. And James goes on to say that He is always the same and never makes dark shadows by changing. Spirit is always Spirit. It's always there. It's always there to lift up our consciousness. It's unchanging. There is no shorts Mayday because it's always the same. Spirit is always the same. Always there for us. And James goes on to say, my dear friends, what would we expect around here? If he's talked about what things shouldn't happen, now James is going to tell us what we should be doing. And I bet everybody here knows what it's going to be. What do you think? Should it be don't be tempted? Show me hands. How many people here think that James would say, well, just don't be tempted? You're correct. It would be nice to say, I can walk through the valley of the shadow and not be tempted. But I'm human. And I bless every day for the joy that is in this life, even with the temptations that I've made. And here's what James says to guide us on our path. Don't fool yourselves by just listening to the word. If you hear the message and don't obey it, you are like people who stare at themselves in a mirror and forget what they look like as soon as they leave. We hear the message here every Sunday. And when we think about it during the week, we practice it during the week. We live it during the week. It becomes part of who we are. But if we walk out the door and never think of it again, we let it go. It does not become part of who we are. The spiritual law of love is who we are. Unchanging. But you must never stop looking at the perfect law that sets you free. God will bless you in everything you do when you listen and apply the law in your life. And just don't hear it and forget it. We have choice. We have choice what to do in our lives. How to work with our temptations. How to work with each other. How to work within ourselves to lift our consciousness. To be more like what Spirit expects on earth. Because then we go to the question of why are we here? Oh, that's next Sunday. We're here to be God's perfection, manifest here on earth. That's our job. Our job is to give joy, to give love, to walk our path. We have choice. We can always think of ourselves being born in lack. Oh, I just don't quite have enough. If only I had that Corvette. If only I had a little more money. If only there were more people in the audience for me to talk to. Not the way it works. I am blessed every Sunday with the people who are here because you have the divine appointment. If a person is not here, that's a choice. Something else to do, something else to listen to. But we're here by divine appointment to be together in this sanctuary of love. We have that choice. We have the choice to think of ourselves born in lack and always in need and living in fear. Or we can be who we really are. Born of joy. Born to manifest that joy on earth. To be love incarnate. To hold each other in the divine knowing for the highest and best for each person. Holding and choosing that for them. So what do you want to do? Which do you want to be? You want to be living from lack and always fighting these temptations? Or do you want to realize that those temptations are always with us and say hallelujah, because I'm alive. And thank you for giving me those opportunities to learn, the opportunities to be who we are, the best we can be. Thank you. God bless.
We truly are blessed to be here, and we truly are blessed to be able to walk this path, aren't we? So it's time now for our offering. The usher, please come forward. Thank you so much, Jerry. Next week, Janice will be again with us to help Jerry with the offerings. So if you will please hold your offering in your hand, and let us say together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I live, and all that I receive. Abundance. And now for our UCIR consciousness statement. Divine order is now manifesting in every phase of this ministry through its expanding prosperity, attendance, and by being a light on the path for others. Thank you, and thank you, Jerry.
This song has a little prayer for inner peace in it, Om Shanti, and if you'd like to sing along with that, you're welcome to. We are looking for a way to find our home. We are looking for a way to find our home. If we heed our inner voice, we find that wisdom leaves no choice. The quiet truth is built from many stones. Its whisper leads us home. We are looking for a way to find our peace. We are looking for a way to find our peace. In the kindness we embrace, in forgiveness and release, the never-ending journey leads to peace. We will find our peace. And we sing Om Shanti, 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 Om. Om Shanti, 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 Om. We sing Om Shanti, 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 Om. Om Shanti, 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 Om. We are looking for a way to find our truth. We are looking for a way to find our truth. When the sky is in our souls, we find heaven in our roots. The mountain we must climb becomes our muse as we seek our truth. On the journey to perfection, do we see our inner light as the candle in the window in the darkness of the night, where every star's a candle in spirit's vast array, and the song within our hearts is there to help us on the way. We sing Om Shanti, 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 Om. Om Shanti, 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 Om. We sing Om Shanti, Shanti. leads us home.
Thank you for that wonderful music. And as we receive these offerings, let us hold the divine light of love flowing through us as we are wise stewards here at Unity Church in Reading. And we know these gifts flow through us to the community and to the world at large, where we are blessed to share our time, our talents, and our treasure in spirit. Together, we are blessed. And so it is. Amen. And now for the platform announcements. Well, the first thing, are you ready to do a little birthday music? May is a big birthday month. How many people have May birthdays? One? What day is it? All right. We'll sing that. Anybody else? Sharon, birthday? Birthday, good. Well, let's... Who? Carolyn? Oh. Well, let's sing a birthday for everybody that has a May birthday. Let's sing it together. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. And many more. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I wish to acknowledge all our volunteers that make this service possible. We know that the church office will be open Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday this month, but we will be staffing it with only one minister. The other minister will be down in Sacramento unpacking. All their stuff was going to be delivered on Monday morning, and she gets to set up her kitchen and her house and all that good stuff. So we send Carolyn a prayer. She will be back, that's right. She's talking on Sunday. She'll be back. Anyway, so as I said, the office will be open 10 to 4. And if you have anything you'd like, stop in. If you'd like prayer, call in. We also have our meditation on noon, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And that also you can call in for. Let's see, we have classes this week. Will be A Course of Love on Wednesday, and the Course of Miracles on Thursday, both at 10 o'clock. And the Presence is on Wednesday at 1, and the Way of the Heart is on Thursday at 1. And if you have any interest in our AA offerings, our 12-step programs, don't hesitate to look at the board for our multiple 12-step programs. We do have an opening for our board of directors, our board of trustees. So if any member is interested in serving, please see Jerry. Please see Jerry. Please see Carolyn, if you have any interest. If interested in an iPhone class or an Android class that is put on by the State of California Utilities Commission, don't hesitate to talk to me about it. We just need to have enough numbers to support having a class right here at our church. Also, for those that are interested, that Unity Church in Reading was named the 2022 Best of Reading in the Places of Worship category. And that's by the Reading Award Program. And let's see, we also have a women's retreat planned for June the 17th, so put that on your calendar. June 17th. Well, that's a good day. Well, we're going to have a women's retreat that day. And let's see, we also are looking to have a prayer class starting probably the first week in June. So if you have any interest and you would like to possibly serve as a prayer chaplain here at our for our congregation. That is a required class. So if you have any interest in taking it just for the benefit of it, please do. If you're thinking about becoming a prayer chaplain, you can also see me. We look forward to seeing everybody again on Sunday. And if you're not here in our sanctuary, you can always join us online through Facebook live streaming. Carolyn, what else would you like to add?
I'd like to say that I think you're really going to enjoy the next 4 Sundays, just like you've enjoyed this morning. We are starting a series on the 4 agreements, Don Miguel Ruiz's book, The 4 Agreements, and we're tying them in to the 5 unity principles. I am really, really excited about this. So we'll be together this next 4 Sundays looking at those agreements and how they work with our own principles to just expand a way in which we might see them. So I really think you'll like it, and I look very forward to seeing you next Sunday. And now let us stand for our peace song and for our prayer for protection. And this morning, Ken will read the response for our prayer for protection. I'd just like to welcome our newcomers today. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it. And we are grateful that you're back with us today. Thank you. I'll wave to you too, because that's fun. Blowing kisses is fun too, isn't it? So for our prayer for protection, the light of God surrounds us.
We are the light of God.
The love of God enfolds us.
We are the love of God.
The power of God protects us.
We embrace that power.
The presence of God watches over us.
We live our lives in God's presence.
Wherever we are, God is, and so it is. Have a beautiful week, and I'll see you next Sunday.